Starving artist. What world do you live in? Artsy freak. You're too sensitive. Get a real job. I remember seeking refuge in the school library, taking my books, poems, and my drawings. Early on, I rarely felt what it meant to belong. Differences of any kind were barely tolerated, and kids around you made sure you knew. At 14, science was my favorite subject, but I found my personal excellence through painting and piano to rise above the hurt, bullying, and confusion. So now and again, I'd flip through my science textbook to cut through the noise and search for some perspective. And in this one book about the universe and humanity, a detail changed everything for me. As I looked through the 4.5 billion year timeline of the universe, stars, and all of us, I saw my preferred communication, art, was at the start of our story. 65,000 years ago, on every continent we start showing up on every landmass, emerged our first storytelling medium everywhere. We are united by cave paintings. This transformed me. Now art was more than just some quirky part of our human existence. It was foundational, a universal language that emerged across generations, cultures, and experiences. Fast forward, and as a Harvard graduate, I worked for 10 years in government policy, international education, and corporate culture change management. But I stayed a painter. And I'm here to chat with you today because I've realized my life has been this series of professional and leadership experiences that somehow come back to the arts as a special and untapped tool that can build compassion across differences. So I've been driven to ask, could we take this further? Could the power of the arts be something intentionally used in our organizations? Organizations trying to build cultures of inclusion. I'm here to say yes, we can use art and culture to build culture and have people thrive. Okay, well, first things first. How will painting a picture or singing a song actually help drive results in the workplace? Well, so to start to answer that, let's get curious together. Has a piece of art truly moved you or influenced the way you feel? A painting, a poem, a film or song? Have you been through transformation or loss, and music and film understood you in ways no one else could? Like the haunting influence of Leonard Cohen's Alleluia, tears painted by Frida Kahlo in her portraits, even the way my client used my painting to express her personal transformation. Did that art understand just a piece of you? Because understanding each other better so we can be free to achieve our excellence and reach our potential is what drove that misunderstood little girl, me, to champion the work of equity and inclusion. This is about being wise together, with a growth mindset about our differences in being human. But through the years, I've seen this rising tide of fear and division. 1 in 3 people afraid to talk about diversity and inclusion in the workplace. A culture of fear stands in the way of all of us shining. So I would start to see the power that arts can have once I broke the boundary between my art world and professional life. Many years ago, I was invited to a corporate event where normally I would be bringing inspiration through live painting. In this case, I was invited to lead a team building exercise for the company's executive leadership. I had no idea how the senior leaders would react. Well, after guiding them through some new simple painting techniques. It seems I turned a day of exploring new expressions and painting in pairs into a profound learning experience. The CEO even came up to me afterwards and said he was a control freak with a very rigid idea of perfection, even in an art activity, but the experience humbled him. It opened him up to firsthand seeing what it was like for others' contributions and creative vision. Art would prove transformational once again many years later when I collaborated with a CEO named Anton, who was reputed for his excellence, but had come over a recent controversy that overshadowed his work, and he was gearing up for a company-wide event. I suggested we do something a little different. Go out on a limb. We circulated an internal call for artists, where staff and executives would display their artwork and music and speak about it at the event. The results were breathtaking. The stories painted this diverse range of emotions and experiences, and inspired, Anton too was able to open up about his own shortcomings, share his reflections and learnings. Now, whether people were experiencing the art or creating it, we wanted to get everyone into the state of artful thinking, which is a term by Harvard's research initiative. It's called Project Zero, that looks at the connection between arts and human potential. It can include questioning, observing, understanding complicated, even contradictory views and holding them at the same time. That's exactly what we were able to lean on. This became something more than just a corporate event. It was a public declaration of humility and learning, a testament to the power of starting with art. We even heard in feedback surveys afterwards that perceptions of Anton's trustworthiness increased. This is a culture of trust. The arts can move us from fear to nuance and compassion. And actually, over time, many leaders that I got to work with were artists and musicians themselves, which is really cool because now leaders are trusted, CEOs specifically, are trusted more than government officials. They're even globally expected to communicate on political and social issues. This was fascinating, something I even saw in pop culture and politics. Condoleezza Rice, 66 US Secretary of State, she's trained to be a concert pianist. Even former President Bush is a portrait painter. And you know, it wasn't just leaders that I saw. Many people were working on something technical by day and pouring their heart out with creativity on evenings and weekends. As we start to embrace the reality, the whole self affects our performance. Those cultures that care about their people have lower levels of burnout, higher levels of effort, faster rates of innovation. Folks, culture eats strategy for breakfast. Those Fortune 100 companies with best rated work cultures are the top performers. And that difference is measured by the experience of women, people of color, and hourly male workers. You might not know it, but some of them are excellent creatives too. Are you seeing what I see? We are beyond the traditional boundaries of the work environment, and heart and values are at the center. Your people are co-creating your organizational tapestry. And when we see each other as part of that tapestry, it's a true community. And the fast track to that is a shared experience uplifting the creative excellence of your people. We have a really unique opportunity to count on that first storytelling language in a world where fear and division often dominate. So, can the arts actually drive an authentic culture of inclusion? Yes. There are so many small or scalable ways to weave this into our organizations, and whether people are artsy or not. Consider just 3. You can host creative writing workshops where performance self-assessments can actually be woven into narratives of a hero's journey. How have you been personally shaped by your successes? Theater-based team building exercises can build this culture of empathy and prepare people to understand different perspectives and even prepare for complex scenarios. And my message to leaders amongst us, there are creators in our midst. Listen to them. Imagine like Anton curating the creative excellence of directors, new employees, even external partners that moonlight as artists and musicians. This is now not just about business. You're differentiating, infusing a culture of authenticity. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. These are not just buzzwords. This is essential work that needs to be done to know each other and heal our society. And art, my friends, is key to unlocking that healing. Our world, our society impacts each and every one of us in such different ways. There's got to be joy in this work so we can all be free to achieve our excellence and be our best selves for each other. So, I invite you to raise a toast and join me. To your colleague who loves to play jazz on the weekend, the CEO who went to art school and the MBA, to your child who is showing joy in dancing, drawing, and maybe hides in the school library too. Turn to those with the creative dimensions and say, you are necessary, essential and visionary, healing and in tune. We need you, creators. You bridge us across differences. Your art is our salvation. Thank you.